clipboard with worksheet and or notebook paper with worksheet stuff copied onto it. Check. Pencil. Check. Ruler. Check. String. Check. Clinometer made out of protractor and straw. Check. Dorky hat that makes me look like a forester. Check. Just grab a pair of scissors, just in case. Oh, really big horse chestnut or copper beech, or those oak trees in the background, but I'm just gonna go to one of my faves there in the corner of the parking lot. This tree right now is helping to fight climate change. How? It's absorbing the carbon dioxide that I breathe out, or that cars put into the atmosphere, or that is released when we burn wood. And it's taking it and it's turning it into itself. So trees store carbon in the form of leaves, but they also store carbon in their trunks, branches, twigs, roots. And the carbon that's stored in that trunk is going to stay there for as long as that wood is wood, right? Until it starts to break down through decomposition, or maybe until it's burned, or somehow that carbon gets released from its system. So it's said to be sequestering carbon. So I think about sequestering as like sucking in carbon or taking it in and trapping it. So this tree is sequestering carbon day in, day out. Should mention that this tree also does respiration, just like we do, right? So we're breaking down sugars and we are emitting carbon dioxide through cellular respiration. And the tree does that as well. It does metabolism. It has mitochondria in its cells, and it's also doing respiration. And so it does release carbon dioxide, but it takes in carbon dioxide and it stores it in its systems. So it's actually sort of absorbing or sequestering more carbon dioxide than it's emitting. So our central question for this lab is, how much carbon can one tree store? Once we find the answer to how much carbon one tree can store, we can think about how much carbon an entire forest can store. Go beyond that and think about how much carbon a whole ecosystem can store. Maybe different ecosystems store different amounts of carbon. Forest versus wetland versus agriculture. These different land use types might have different carbon sequestration abilities. A big question that we have to ask is, how can we use this information of how much carbon a tree or a forest can store, or a different land use, and how can we help climate change? I should probably say, how can we help to combat human-caused climate change with this information?